Good afternoon, friends. They want to take action. Lawmakers in the Senate are now urging the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates over high housing costs. Eligible households in select states can also expect to see new tax rebate checks in just a few weeks. These payments will be worth hundreds of dollars. My dear friends, please do me a big favor and watch until the end of this video. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways.
I want to take a minute this morning to, again, look at the 118th Congress, which just completed its first year of operation last December, and it was sadly the least productive Congress in memory. 31 bills were enacted during that first year of the 118th Congress. Again, that is a fraction of the number of bills that have been introduced in this Congress that now surpasses 7,000 bills, which were introduced in the House and a comparable number in the Senate. Obviously, a lot of the year was consumed with a lot of inter-party fighting with the majority party, but now with really a year left, it's our duty to try and find bipartisan measures that are actually going to help this country and address real problems for Americans. The good news is a week ago Friday, the Ways and Means Committee reported out H.R. 7024, which again is a bill aimed at making corrections and improvements to the tax code that again are long overdue. There are three basic pieces to it. Number one, it reinstated the child tax credit, which had been wiped out after ARPA expired. And again, this will basically take roughly 500,000 children out of poverty. Again, low-income families don't qualify for the full value of the child tax credit. And again, thankfully, the two sides came together to come up with a meaningful fix. Again, we really have more work to do because the initial version that was part of ARPA actually cut child poverty in this country in half. The second thing it did is it expanded the low-income housing tax credit. We have a desperate need for more housing supply in this country. And again, this will stimulate more investment by developers to build more housing. And I want to be clear, those units that will benefit from this will be mixed income and will benefit, again, working families and folks who are desperate to find affordable places to live. But what I really want to talk about is the research and development tax deduction, which in 2017, when the tax law was passed, which I opposed at the time, it basically took the research and development expensing mechanism that had been on the books since 1954, which allowed businesses to write down the investments that they did in new products, processes, workforce innovation, and basically forced them to have to spread it out over 5 years, causing a huge hardship for small businesses, particularly small manufacturers.
More than 700,000 Michigan households will receive a check this year as part of the $1 billion in tax cuts signed into law earlier this year. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer recently announced that over 700,000 Michigan households will receive an average of $550 starting in February 2024. The state of Michigan will send checks to families eligible for the Working Families Tax Credit based on their 2022 tax return. These checks will represent the difference between a 6% tax credit received in their tax return and the new law's 30% owed credit. In March 2023, Governor Whitmer approved legislation increasing the Michigan Working Families Tax Credit to 30% from the previous 6%. This change will result in an average combined tax refund of $3,150 for 700,000 families, impacting nearly 1 million children, which is almost half of Michigan's children. All eligible residents should apply for the expanded tax credit if they meet the criteria this year. They can potentially receive both the additional Working Families Tax Credit and the full 30% tax credit on their 2023 tax return filing when they file next year. The Department of Treasury will automatically processed checks for eligible residents who submitted their 2022 tax return and confirmed eligibility for the additional estate credit. These checks will be mailed on a rolling basis as soon as they are printed, with an estimated time of 5 to 6 weeks for printing and distribution. Also, according to The Hill, several Democratic senators urged the Federal Reserve this week to cut interest rates, which they argued have aggravated the country's persistent crisis of housing access and affordability. In a recent letter to Fed Chair Jerome Powell, Senators Elizabeth Warren, John Hickenlooper, Jackie Rosen, and Sheldon Whitehouse said that the central bank's decision to rapidly raise rates has resulted in higher costs for homeowners and renters, as well as a lack of new construction. The group also wrote in the letter, as the Fed weighs in its next steps in the new year, we urge you to consider the effects of your interest rate decisions on the housing market and to reverse the troubling rate hikes that have put affordable housing out of reach for too many. The Fed repeatedly raised interest rates throughout 2022 and 2023 to tame inflation, which peaked at a 40-year high of 9.1% in June 2022. Inflation has since cooled significantly, with consumer prices up 3.4% year over year in December, and the central bank has held off further rate hikes at its last 3 consecutive meetings. So while the Democratic senators acknowledge the Fed's decision to hold rates steady in recent months, they warn that interest rates are still too high for many American families who already cannot afford to pay rent or buy their first homes. Mortgage rates, which tend to follow interest rates, have climbed over the past 2 years. In late October, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate rose to nearly 8%, marking a 2-decade high. It has since fallen to an average of 6.69%. Higher mortgage rates have led to higher costs for homeowners and deterred prospective first-time homebuyers who remain in the rental market. However, the senators suggested that higher interest rates have also translated into higher rental costs as landlords pass off the cost of higher mortgage rates onto their tenants. The Fed panel responsible for deciding monetary policy is set to meet later this week, while it's largely expected to hold rates steady at its January meeting. Most Fed officials said in December that they expect at least 2 rate cuts in 2024. So dear friends, what are your thoughts on this? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Well, my amazing and most awesome friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Friends, this coming Friday and every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.